Dopamine detox is one of the most famous trends to come out of self-improvement. Millions of people around the world have benefited from its principles, but its popularity has also caused an equal amount of controversy, from people wondering if it actually works. So dopamine detox is without a doubt one of the best steps you can take to improve your life, but there are a lot of misconceptions and a lot of mistakes that people make when trying to do a dopamine detox, which is why today I want to clear the air. As someone who's gone through the journey myself, I want to share the truth on dopamine detox from my experience and help others starting their journey today. Now, if you don't already know what dopamine detox is, please watch this video by Hamza Ahmed explaining it. He did a really good job and it'll catch you up with everything I'm about to say next. First off, one of the biggest mistakes people make when starting a dopamine detox is trying to quit everything immediately. Now, a lot of people hear about the benefits of dopamine detox, they watch all the videos about it, and then they get super motivated. They delete all the apps from their phone, they throw away the junk food, they unplug their PlayStation and try to detox from everything on day one. But what do you think happens next? The next day, they're right back to their addictions again. They reinstall the apps, they go back to eating junk food, and when that happens, they just say, oh, dopamine detox doesn't work, or at least they'll be frustrated at why it won't work for them. And I tell you guys this because that person was me just 1 year ago when I started. I learned about dopamine detox through people like Hamza and Iman Gadji, and I got super interested, and I fell for the same lie. I thought that I could just turn everything off and become David Goggins in like 2 days, but it's not really like that. Really quickly after I started, my motivation just dropped, and I eventually just got tired of it and fell back into the same habits I was always doing. But the worst part about it was I kept getting mad at myself, wondering why couldn't I do a dopamine detox like all these other YouTubers I see and people in my life have done. I kept trying over and over to detox, but I just kept falling right back to where I started with the same screen time and the same pain that I couldn't improve. It just wasn't fun at all. And the saddest part about all that is it's not really mine or anyone else's fault that deals with that, because once you finally wake up and you realize how addicted you are and you just have this anger to change your life, then you're just tired of being a slave to your phone and to any of the dopamine, and you're just so desperate to improve. See, this desperation to fix your life will end up working against you because you want to fix your life as soon as possible, right? And you want to see the results as soon as possible. But we know that's not how it works. You're just not going to see the results right away, and because of that, you're going to be angry on why dopamine detox isn't working. And unfortunately, this is where a lot of people give up, literally on day one, because they thought it would just be a one and done thing. But just remember, like all good things in life, it takes time. See, patience is the #1 skill when it comes to dopamine detox, and I know it's one of the hardest things to accept, but think about it this way. You are literally rewiring your brain. Like, how crazy is that? You are literally changing your chemical reactions to things. Like, that is insane. Why do you think that such a complex thing like that can just be changed so fast? And even just logically, think about how long you've been developing these habits of playing video games, of scrolling TikTok, of watching YouTube, all these dopamine things, probably your whole life, probably since you were a kid. And how do you just expect one day to reverse all the effects of that? Honestly, the best analogy I've seen that helps people really understand this concept is just think of someone trying to lose weight. Do you think just one day of someone not eating junk food is going to make them lose weight? Of course not. So why do you think your brain is any different? But okay, you're probably wondering then at this point, how do I detox properly then? And the answer is really simple. So I'm just going to tell you the exact method that I use to quit all my instant gratification activities completely, and I think it'll make a lot of sense. So right now, go on your phone and check your screen time. This is literally a calculator, but I'm recording with my phone, so shut up. Check the screen time for the apps you want to stop using, and let's say, for example, you have 3 hours on YouTube, right? Okay, starting tomorrow, I want you just to watch 5 minutes less than what you watched today. So if you watched 3 hours of YouTube yesterday, today I want you to watch 2 hours and 55 minutes. Just watch 5 minutes less. And then the next day, think about it like this. You're like, okay, I watched 2 hours and 55 minutes today. So today, let's watch 2 hours and 50 minutes. And the next day you're like, okay, so I watched 2 hours and 50 minutes today. Let's only watch 2 hours and 45 minutes, and so on. And you just keep doing that day in and day out. And right now you're probably like, how is watching something for 5 minutes less every day gonna fix this whole dopamine detox for me? But okay, let's say you started dopamine detox today, and every day you watch just 5 minutes less of screen time every day. So in around 2 weeks, if we do the math, now you're only watching 2 hours of YouTube. And then in 1.5 months, now you're only watching just 1 hour of YouTube a day. And then literally by 2 months, since you started dopamine detox, you will have 0 time on YouTube. Your screen time is literally 0 within 2 months. And the best part about it is you won't get nearly as many urges to give up or relapse on anything compared to if you just dropped everything completely because you took it slow. Just remember, at the end of the day, slow and steady wins the race. And if you want to master dopamine detox and win the race, you need to have patience. These addictions that you've built up for years aren't just gonna go away in a few days or even weeks. It takes months and months of discipline to start reversing these things. And if you can't wait that long, then honestly, you don't deserve the benefits for a lifetime. And speaking of time, this leads to another question a lot of people ask, and that's, well, when do I stop dopamine detoxing? Or how do I know when I don't need to do it anymore? This answer is interesting because a lot of people in self-improvement see dopamine detox differently. A lot of influencers kind of push it as like a short-term thing, you know, something you might do every once in a while to kind of reset your mind. It's kind of almost like a monthly fast, but for dopamine. But the way that I see it, and some other people like Hamza or Iman Gaji see it, is this. Dopamine detox is a lifestyle, not a challenge. Because look, this might not make sense to you now, but once you've been detoxing long enough, you start to realize that you're just getting more out of life now than you were before, and you don't really ever want to go back. In the beginning though, when you start, I can't lie, it is a struggle and a challenge because like we said, the addictions are very hard to break. But at a certain point in your journey, it just becomes easy. And then at a certain point, you can just eventually maintain this detox permanently with no difficulty whatsoever. Like for me right now, I honestly forgot that I'm technically on a dopamine detox because it's not even a challenge for me anymore. I barely use my phone. I literally don't go on YouTube. The only time I go on YouTube is if I have to upload videos for this channel, or sometimes I might watch things for my schoolwork or for some fitness content, but it's just purely educational things. And I just straight up don't have Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, TikTok, none of these social medias on my phone. I have no reason to use it. And the only times I'm really on my phone is honestly if I'm texting or calling my friends or family. So it's literally just for communicating. Now, some of you may have just said, well, that's so boring. What do you even do with your life then? And this brings up another common point from people that are just trying to start, and that's, how do you not get bored on dopamine detox? Or, I'm so bored on dopamine detox, I feel like quitting. And if that's you, like just plain and simply, you don't have a life, bro. Like, you don't have a life. Honestly, I can't even clown you that hard because in the beginning, I was literally that guy. It honestly makes sense though, because your whole life, you've just been filling up your free time with all these instant gratification things, right? And when you suddenly just take them all away, well, now you have all this free time. So of course you don't know what to do with it. So if you feel bored on the dopamine detox, what you're really saying is you're not doing enough in your life. You just need to get busy, bro. Fill up your time with any delayed gratification activity, like just to name a few: running, working out, any kind of physical activity, meditating, journaling, even just spending time with family can count as a productive thing you can do with your free time. But honestly, the real secret is this. You should never be able to say, I'm bored, if you're living a fulfilling life. In my opinion, there's always something for you to do or someone out there to help. And like literally, if you're just so bored right now and you literally cannot come up with anything to do, literally go volunteer for your school or your library or your community. I guarantee you, if you just look up on Google, volunteers needed in whatever city you live in, you won't even know where to start because there's so many people that need your help. But if you're watching this, I know you're not even gonna go that far because that's just way too much work for you to do right now. But my point is this. There's literally zero excuse for you to be bored. There's always something for you to do, and take the time you have to be productive and fulfilled as possible. And this will take some time, but before you know it, within just a few weeks or months, you won't even catch yourself saying that you're bored anymore because your life will just be that much fun. And speaking of fun, by far the biggest misconception I see with dopamine detox, something that I used to believe for such a long time, is that you're not allowed to have fun. For me, as I was progressing more and more with detoxing, I slowly developed this mentality that I wasn't allowed to have fun. I was so worried about trying to be the most productive person that I ever could that I just avoided doing anything that I thought was fun or had dopamine in it. I used to avoid things like going out with friends because I thought it was a waste of time, and I thought that I had to work hard 24/7 or else I was a failure. And any time that I did end up doing any kind of instant gratification activity, I would always just feel this guilt or shame and just beat myself up over it. I used to think that I could never play a video game ever again, or I couldn't watch a YouTube video ever again, because if I did, then I would lose progress. It was only when I realized the mentality of do it all 100% that my mindset started to change. And I realized that I didn't have to be productive all the time, and that you can have fun and work hard in your life. And if you've had this mindset before or you still have it now, please watch this video on how you can have fun and work hard at the same time, because the truth is you can do both. And the bottom line is you're allowed to have fun, bro. Like, there's no rules for dopamine detoxing. You can't have fun or you have to be a workaholic. There's no rules. It's only what you set yourself to. So if you want to go see a new movie with your friends, go see it, man. And if you want to play a video game with your brother, then bro, have fun. It's okay to have a little bit of dopamine. Honestly, the worst mindset that people can develop is beating themselves up over relapsing on dopamine, because they think they're not allowed to have fun, and when they do something fun, they feel like they don't deserve it or they're not allowed to do it, and this will just further put them in a negative cycle. So just don't take yourself so seriously, and it's okay to mess up sometimes. And sometimes, yeah, you might just slip up. You might go right back on TikTok. You might catch yourself right back on video games, right back on YouTube, but that doesn't matter. All that matters is how you react to your own decisions. What's funny is it's actually the people that indulge in a little bit of instant gratification that get right back to work that actually do better than the people who stress too much about detoxing. Because, okay, who do you think is going to be more successful on a dopamine detox? Somebody that when he finds himself scrolling TikTok, he says, oh, wait, I shouldn't be doing this. I'm on a dopamine detox. I have some schoolwork that I need to do. Let me go do that real quick. Or is it the guy that's like, no, I'm such a failure. Why am I on TikTok? Like, they're just constantly beating themselves up over it. Like, bro, calm down. Like, you have your whole life to do this, bro. These things are called addictions for a reason. The point of dopamine detox isn't to never have dopamine again. It's to take back control of your brain and take back control of your life, so that way you can have more fun. Hopefully this all made sense to you, and if you're watching this far, I challenge you to do dopamine detoxing if you haven't already. Trust me, the benefits are just too huge to not try, and you can never knock something until you don't try it, so what do you have to lose? Even if you don't really care about self-improvement, I guarantee you that your life will improve as a whole just from doing even a little bit of detoxing. And remember the biggest things from this video: don't try to quit everything straight away. You need to go slowly. It's all about patience. Fill up your new free time with good hobbies and things that bring you delayed gratification. And most importantly, don't be too hard on yourself. Try to have fun on dopamine detox. In fact, you will have fun if you do the right things. And don't worry about the daily progress, because this is a lifestyle, not a challenge. Be grateful. Grateful for this country, man.